Hello there, this is Dav once again. We are here for the Handtsan series 1 to 6 review. So I'm just going to briefly cover a few topics. All the written work is done out, but this is just a few things I'm going to talk about as a bonus. So, in terms of most importantly measurements, did we actually improve? Yes, we did, but not as significantly as desired. What I mean by that is that, we did actually in fact double our pull-up count, which I'm very pleased with and impressed. However, the workout was very hard to stick to. Not in terms of it was very repetitive, not really that enjoyable, and it was done on top of all these other workouts I did as well, so that didn't make it, it made it seem as a bonus, and I don't see a bonus as a necessary workout. All my other ones were, so this was done on top of my actual training program as the college program. So, if we go straight into measurements, at the start we could only do 5, when we retested we could do 10, so why don't we just evidence that once again. So 10 pull-ups, wide, no band. Nine, 10. Okay, so for the SMART targets, we were aiming for 8, so an increase of 3 pull-ups, which in 6 weeks is not really aiming for all that much at all. Whereas when I doubled it by 10, I was very pleased with myself and sounded, although slightly can be unrealistic, depends on the effectivity of the workouts, which I'm going to go into right now. Was the workout effective? Personally, I do not think it was. This is because the main issue was that there was 30-second rest in between each exercise. And the exercises was arms, or chest. The issue with that, with 30 seconds rest, is that it was not giving my body enough time to recover to be able to perform at my best of my ability on the next exercise. A great example of this would be throughout every workout actually. We would do max press-ups. No, actually let's not use that one, that's actually right. Let's just think. Ooh, there we go, I got one now. So we did the handstand push-up, which yes, does involve a lot more shoulder strength in workout number 6, but straight after it, we went on to a press-up type. They are both involving the shoulders and the arms. So I could not perform to the best of my ability in that press-up type. So if you can understand what's going on there, then as well as that, on the positive though, as the example I was going to give first, which argumentably is different, so I'm going to say that as a positive, which is when I was doing, so as soon as I got into lounge, I would do a press-up, then a press-up type, then I would do a wall handstand. For the wall handstand, you're engaging a lot more of your shoulders rather than the arms. The arms are still greatly used, but that was somewhat of a rest in between the stages, my point being. So because there was not adequate rest, I could not perform to the best of my ability in the next exercise. That is the main area for improvement. I needed longer rest. So I even needed up to 90 seconds, or say for example, doing quite a few repetitions of say like a leg exercise, like the squat, in between them, so that way I would actually have adequate rest and be able to perform to the best. Okay, then, so we've discussed our measurement, we have doubled that, I'm very pleased with it. But I do personally think my improvement comes from my other workouts, because I was doing the handstand series on top of my Browney and Res workouts. Res short for resistance, Browney bodyweight workouts. So from those two, I was seeing a little bit more progress in those, and I believe, and personally I do say they are much more effective workouts, and as I was about to say, I do believe that is where my improvement came from. So, because on that workout, I was giving myself adequate rest and the ability to increase reps and also perform to the best of my ability. But we'll go over to one other measurement. Let me just figure out where I can do the handstand. We'll just do it over there. So, lovely and upside down. So, the goal for this program was in fact, let me just go again. So the goal for this workout program was in fact to do a handstand push-up. For argument's sake, a wall one will count. Yes, I did not achieve the original desire of a full-on handstand push-up because I couldn't even do a full handstand. I did manage about a 3-second hold of the banana handstand when I did my workout number 6. I'm very pleased with that. I did achieve a handstand-ish, but I didn't really get to the handstand push-up part. So the problem with working towards that was that I was developing the strength in my workout, say, to build towards the strength to be able to do those movements, but I never really did an exercise that was greatly linked to it to help me develop the ability. Yes, that does not make sense when I was doing a wall handstand, but if you think about it, with a wall handstand, so this is the wall, and this is me, I'm using the wall to balance myself. With an actual handstand, you're trying to balance yourself straight up with nothing there. That is where the difficulty comes in. So, because I was never doing anything like that, I couldn't really develop towards an actual handstand. Only on week 6, after I did watch a YouTube video doing further research, did I actually figure out how to start working towards it, which is using the banana technique of the kicking the legs up and having your hands in 2 different positions on the floor, etc, etc. Another thing which is very important to mention is in terms of research I did for that program. That was good, but bad. It was good because when I was researching stuff, I was finding out what was effective and what I should be doing in my program. But it was bad because this was done throughout the program, not the beginning, so that I could set up effective workouts week in, week out. No, it was done during it when I was hitting plateauing, slumps, and so on, where I was just like, I'm not getting anywhere. So, one thing, for example, was I could not increase my press-up count. I could not get past 12 press-ups, 10 if I'm lucky really, during a workout. But now, because I focused on this thing called the fascia, so that was all about basically giving your muscles room to grow, linked to the bag, keeping them in place. So, before I could only get to 12 max, now we'll see what we can reach. 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. So that's 12. So that's what I could reach before. It doesn't seem like all that much when I just did that in 10, 20 seconds. So we'll continue. 16, 2, 3, 24. Okay, there we go. Much better. So we managed to double that one too, which I would say is predominantly linked to the fascia, because I learnt basically with the fascia, your muscles can only grow as big as their shell. If you expand that shell through stretching, basically, but you do stretching immediately post a workout because your muscles are slightly bigger, like right now, they're slightly bigger because there's more oxygen and blood in them, hence they are more likely to tear the fascia, and hence the muscle fibres can also tear as well. So, the point being, the research I've done helped a lot to actually get somewhere, but it should have been done at the start. Okay, the only other thing I'd like to mention in this video, which isn't covered in the full review, is that the enjoyment element. When I did it, I did enjoy the first time I did it. I would always review, so I would repeat the workout 2 to 3 times a week, but I would always enjoy the first one and then I'd write my review. I didn't write my review after doing all 2 or all 3. Therefore, the enjoyment element was fun the first time. The next times it was like, oh, do I have to do this? It was that sort of concept. So I needed to make the workout less repetitive and more enjoyable. So for future references, I am going to focus, if I was to continue this, I would be focusing on doing my research all at the start to figure out what I need to know to be able to do this movement. For example, say I was training for the muscle up, I would say look at a PDF format on the internet, seeing what does it recommend and all that, and seeing how I can incorporate those recommendations of exercises to work towards it to my actual training program. Okay, so thank you very much for this review, and I shall see you guys no longer.